And you have just crossed the line. End of debate. Report to the cargo bay and remain there until this is over. Is that understood?
Hey, welcome to Fire Chakotay. This is Mike Diamond.
And this is Miss Matinga.
And of course, Booby.
And of course, Booby. And we are covering Star Trek Voyager Season 6 penultimate episode entitled Fury.
Now, is this the second to the last episode of the sixth season?
That is what penultimate means, darling.
That is correct. I'm just
you know
asking.
what? I don't know if it is a penultimate episode.
You don't know that for sure.
I just felt like saying it.
Yes.
All right. Take 3. Welcome to Fire Chakotay. This is Mike Diamond. Fuck it. We're just going to go with it. We're talking about an episode of Star Trek Voyager, and it is called Fury.
Yes. It's called Fury.
What's the details, girl?
So episode Fury is season 6, episode 23. It is the 143rd episode overall of Star Trek Voyager to have been produced, and it debuted May 3rd of 2000. And it is the return of the actress Jennifer Lien and the character Kes for one last go round on the Starship Voyager.
And boy, oh boy, she go round.
Oh, she's furious.
Way down.
Yeah. So if it's episode 23, it is not the penultimate episode.
It is not the penultimate.
You're right. I just want it to sound smart.
Yes.
But I'm clearly not smart.
I see the books back there.
Oh, some light reading before bed.
Huh.
Could be some light reading going on here.
I was going to say, there's no man in that room. Who were you reading?
Ooh, girl.
Dun-dun-dun.
Let me tell you about the tree cutter man that has been coming around. Have I told you about him?
No.
Girl.
Does he look like Kes?
If only. Actually, a little bit around the edges. I'll save that story for another day. Suffice to say, honey, timber. Okay, so when the episode opens, Booby, what's happening?
Janeway is seemingly reprimanding Tuvok and being very coy about what she's reprimanding him about.
We've served on 3 starships together. I've always been honest with you, but you've been keeping something from me.
And then she turns her back to him as she's saying, I thought we were friends.
I was present at your daughter's colonar.
I was at your daughter's colonoscopy.
Yeah. She turns around to the replicator and gives him her back and turns around facing him with a birthday cake. Evidently, it's his birthday. Aww. And the ugliest birthday cake I've ever seen.
Silver.
It's blue.
Silver blue.
Do you know what it looks like? It looks like they got one of those like bowler hats from like a costume shop and spray painted it blue. And isn't that the cake they use for every fucking birthday on Voyager?
Yes.
Yeah. It's like that. It's like that nuclear peptide cake from STNG. It's
yes.
Gross.
It's looking a little beat up. But Tuvok is like, oh, gag, yes. I'm going to blow out this candle, even though it's not a Vulcan thing.
It was a fire hazard.
So is he like 99?
He's probably
in
like
his
90s. Yeah, he's in his 90s.
He's in his 90s.
Which means he's only middle-aged.
I thought he was older. In universe, I thought he was older already. Like I thought he was like 200.
He's pretty old. Most Vulcans live to about 200, 225.
In reality.
They're about, yeah.
In
reality. Yeah.
In reality. So then they get summoned to the bridge. What's going on up on the bridge?
All sorts of shit.
There's a ship coming.
Yes.
There's a ship coming, yes.
A little one. A little one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like a shuttlecraft.
And they receive a distress call.
And Harry's like, there's only one life sign, and it's from Quampton.
It's it's from Quampton.
Yeah, which is why I like to call her Gangsta Lien.
Miss Gangsta Lien, that's right.
Yeah.
But you know that if it's from Quampton, it's definitely not Drake in that ship.
It is not. So on the view screen, suddenly is RuPaul without makeup. I mean, Kes.
Is Miss Cass.
Looking bedraggled.
Yeah.
And old.
She's been aged by makeup.
Now, we haven't seen Kes since she departed in very, very early season 4. Right. And she went off to go be a being of light or something in the universe.
Right.
Yeah. And I do think that she basically goes off to become the Star Child and evolve into this greater being. Mm-hmm. But I do want to point out that as a last moment of from Miss Cass on that previous episode, she uses her power and pushes them 30,000 light years forward. That's 30 years closer to home as a gift to them. So somehow she has caught up with them too. So not only has she,
and she's got a chip on her shoulder
about it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like girl, like you wanted to go home, but like you totally went in the other direction to find Voyager.
Right.
It doesn't make a lot of narrative sense. It's like,
Right.
well, girl, but like you were way closer, but you had to come and find Voyager and like cause all this misagash.
a little looser, mama.
A
Hey,
little
honey-
looser.
A little looser, Cass.
The logic is a little looser. So
Yeah.
Cass is on the view screen. Everyone's kind of gagged, and she's like, "Captain, please let me come on board. I'm exhausted. Please, I like
I'm
bedraggled.
gasping.
I'm gasping." And the captain's like, "Oh my god, of course, yo,
Bring
bitch,
it.
bring it, bitch. What up?"
This is a
And-
member of the family.
Yeah, but
Like,
and they're all a
yeah.
gag, but they're like, "Girl, what's up, yo? All right,
Yeah.
yeah." So Cass transports herself over, or they transport her over.
She crashes into the ship, causing a bulkhead implosion.
Right, I forgot
But-
that little detail.
Yeah, but before she does that, she beams
She-
herself onto the ship.
Right.
And much like the last time you saw her on the ship, her neurogenic energy is blasting out bulkheads with each step that she takes. So she like in the first couple seconds, she kills my ensign Ayala.
Stop where you are.
Kills
The hallway's kind of blowing up behind her.
And so you know Ayala's dead because she implodes a bulkhead on him. He's
It-
definitely dead.
It was like Carrie unleashing her telekinetic powers. Like shit
That's
was
right.
blowing up and flying around, and she kills Ayala, our baby Ayala, and some other person.
How you know
Yes.
she killed him?
She kills him for
Honey,
sure
she flung him.
into outer space.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
She breaks the bulkhead open.
Right.
Honey.
Ayala
Right.
could break my bulkhead open.
I'm
Trust,
sure.
honey. What?
What? And so she heads straight for engineering. Balana and Seven are there. Seven looking fabulous
Yes.
in that blue catsuit.
Yes. But it's also a moment of, strangely, it's a meta moment where the actress who was let go from the show
Right.
confronts the actress who replaced her and became much more popular.
State your intentions.
But then also Cass, who is left off of the ship, comes across Seven of Nine, who is taken in and becomes part of the family as well. So it's like this weird meta moment where the two actresses kind of look at each other, and
Right.
all of that is going on.
Right, because Cass
All
is
of
like, bitch, I came from my gig that you snatched. She's
Wait a
like,
minute,
state your
Seven.
intentions. And Cass is like, well, my intentions is to look like Stevie Nicks in this long flowing robe, bitch. Also, I want my job back.
I would
Right.
like my job back. I have been spending time hanging out behind a bunch of logs, behind a
Mhm.
Shakey's burned out pizza.
Ooh.
I would like my gig. Excuse me. I do
Yes.
also just want to quickly say that I pulled out my Kess doll
Describe it for the
Word.
listeners,
for
please.
this occasion. So it is an official Star Trek Voyager piece of merchandise,
Mhm.
and it is a doll of the Okampa, Kess.
Yes.
And she's just super cute in her typical little brown,
Tunic.
Robin Hood tunic.
What I love is the detailing, because in her hand she has a written script for Effexor,
She
which
does
is really nice. It's a
Yeah,
nice touch.
totally. And
Yeah.
oddly enough, this doll has a better Gilda than the actual wig they placed on.
Oh,
Oh,
that-
shit now.
Oh, honey, they gave her that
Honey.
old gray old lady wig, looking like she was at Elogium way past closing hours, bitch.
Way.
Honey, Club Elogium is closed, bitch. So she's in engineering, and Seven's like, "What about it? I'm rocking a blue cat suit."
What
And
about it?
Balana's like, "You like my new tasty wig 3 seasons later?"
Yes.
And Miss Cass touches the warp core, and now Balana and Seven contact the bridge, but she's kind of trying to suck power from the warp core.
Correct. She's using warp core energy to re-energize herself. But in doing so, she kills Balana. I think this time by mistake. I think she just out and killed Ayala.
I think she didn't care. So while she's
think, yeah.
sucking the power from the warp core, like a bolt of lightning comes out
Yeah.
and lays Miss Balana out.
Yeah.
Down.
This
then-
is the first 5 minutes.
Right. Oh yeah.
the
And then
episode.
Seven contacts the bridge, like, yo, this crazy ass schizophrenic homeless lady just killed Roxanne Dawson. Yo, she really
Yeah.
wants her gig back.
Oh, is it
Yeah.
Rosario? Oh, no, it's Roxanne. You're right.
Honey, she wishes she was Rosario Dawson, about to become Osaka. Is it Ahsoka?
Ahsoka. Ahsoka.
Honey,
Osaka.
forget it.
Osaka.
Miss Roxanne, she's about to become Osaka. Miss Roxanne Biggs Dawson right now is at home pissed off that she's not
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka.
Well, the Biggs part is done with because she ain't with Casey Biggs no more.
Well, but she's still hating on him.
Yeah,
But she got cheering from him, right?
I bet you he is Biggs, right where it counts too.
So
What?
Gold.
That's Damar, right?
Gold Damar.
Now you know that Gold Damar. That's a black Kardashian with a name like Damar. That's like DeAndre.
Gold.
But
That's
Casey,
like DeAndre.
Yeah, but Casey Biggs, that's a white
Leroy.
dude. That's a white dude.
Oh my God, he's
Casey
doing
Biggs.
Kardashian blackface as Damar.
As Damar, honey.
No, bitch.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Casey Biggs is hot.
Yes, he is.
Is
yes,
he?
he is. Yes,
He is
but
hot. Yeah.
he's not in this episode. So B'Elanna is dead, and Seven's gagging. Dead. And then Cass sucks all the power out of the warp core, and then suddenly she looks young again. And B'Elanna is alive again and looks younger and is like, bitch, are you lost?
Who was Casey Biggs married to?
He was
Casey
married
Biggs
he was married to B'Elanna.
was
Oh,
married to
wow.
B'Elanna. That's why it was B'Elanna Biggs Dawson. Fuck it. Damn it. It was
B'Elanna Dawson Biggs.
was Delana Boston Biggs.
Yeah,
Miss
B'Elanna Biggs
Boston
Dawson's Creek.
B'Elanna
darling.
Boston Market.
Yo, what up?
Dawson was my
B'Elanna's
favorite.
Boston Market chicken, darling.
But she's famous. She was famous for Dawson's 50 load weekend.
Yeah, hello.
Oh, hello.
B'Elanna Dawson's 50 load
Yes,
weekend.
girl,
Ooh,
shit.
honey, that's how she
Ooh.
met Casey Biggs.
You know, and they filmed that at Boston Market.
Weirdly enough. Like,
Weirdly
overnight.
enough.
Yeah.
This is the inside information about Star Trek you only get on
Only
Fire
get here.
Chakotay. Only on Fire Chakotay. So suddenly it's a brand new day, and it's season 1, Cass looking young and fresh in a red tunic, and B'Elanna's like, are you lost? And now old Cass looks young, and clearly there's been like a time travel thing.
So she has gone back to now. Voyager has just been in the Delta Quadrant for 56 days.
Right.
For 56 days. And she's still the old Cass. She just makes herself look young because clearly she has all these powers now. And but she has gone back in time. She's taken her corporeal body. She hasn't gone into the body of the younger Cass.
Right.
She's taken her
Unlike
corporeal body.
Neelix.
Leave my Neelix alone.
Oh,
And
well-
Miss Cass is just a little bit chubby.
We'll get
A little bit chubby in the face.
A little chubby in the
savage.
face.
Y'all
and
are
the
savage.
way.
A little straight up and down, no curves, like the road between Santa Fe and
Miss Thing, because
El Paso.
since they
Paso.
fired her from Voyager, honey, she's been living on government cheese and Effexor. How you think she gonna
Oh.
look?
yeah, she's
Bitch.
looking very Effexor-ish,
Y'all are savage. Y'all are
but not
savage.
But real.
but not too worse for wear because she's also playing the younger Cass as well.
Yeah, she
Right.
looks fine.
Also
She looks
chubby.
just fine. A
She
little
looks-
chubby.
She looks just fine. So now we're back in season 1. The captain's got her-
Catherine's hair is.
she got her bun go right to the
Right.
hair.
Oh, but the bun is so ratchet now. It's like
Kathy's bun.
little hairs coming out of the side. It's just like an old piece on the back that's been sitting in a drawer somewhere.
She wasn't looking beautiful tonight.
It is not serving loveliness anymore.
Like, hey Marge, dig up the season 1
Yeah.
bun.
It's very Chakotay.
Right.
Come over here and a coochie moya me.
Chakotay looking good.
Looking good.
Of
Look-
course.
Look
Ageless.
ageless, pointless.
Pointless.
What are he doing? Anyway, so
Next.
she is stalking around Voyager. It is season 1. There's no 7 of 9. There's none of that.
She's over everybody. She's
She's
barely repressing her anger. She's
She
just
ha-
being cold with everybody.
She has a scene with Neelix where she's like really trying to keep it together, but she wants to kill him.
Something wrong?
Bad morning.
Anything I can do?
I'll be fine.
That's my guess.
The coffee?
Because Neelix is back in his look where he's like a Crayola box and a fucking possum had an aborted baby costume.
She's like, I can't believe I ever
In
let
drag.
this ratty pedophile ever touch me. Look at the skin, darling. Look at all of this skin.
She's like, I'm just having a bad day.
Yeah.
But even the way he talks to her, he's like he's talking to a child.
Up, I see a smile. Up, do I see a smile? I see a smile. She's the coffee.
Like, how about that fucking
It's the
coffee?
Fucking
Can I get
coffee.
the coffee, please? And he's up her ass. Like it's
Yeah.
really, it's it kind of reminds you of like, yeah, their relationship wasn't quite balanced.
It was gross.
Yeah, but we're still trying to figure out why has she come back to this earlier version.
She goes
of
to the
Voyager?
captain's office. For what reason, I don't recall.
To bring her coffee.
To bring her the coffee. But
Bring
to
her coffee. She was also trying to figure out when exactly in the first year of Voyager is she? How far away is she from Ocampa? They're only 56 days away from having arrived in the Delta Quadrant. She's trying to figure out where am I? How can I accomplish my plan?
And what's up with the Vidians? The Vidians are back.
And the Vidians are all over the place.
The
and causing
Vidians are the
drama.
aliens that want to harvest other
organs.
species for their organs because they have the phage, which is like Delta Quadrant Corona.
Yeah, but apparently the phage was later cured by the think tank.
Oh,
Right. That's
The
right.
think tank cured the phage.
Yes.
That's
Alexander.
way later. Yeah,
right. Yes,
Yeah.
but we're still in season 1.
but we're
sort
still in
of.
season 1.
So Janeway and Cass spills coffee on the desk, and Janeway's like, "Don't worry about it. There's
By
fluids all over this
accident.
desk, honey."
Yes.
And
But really, she's just trying to get access to like the data pad and exactly what's going on, because what she's trying to do is to use the Vidians so that she can sacrifice the Voyager crew so that she can get Kes off the ship and back to Ocampa. Now, mind you, she has now taken Kes, assaulted her, and stuffed her in a drawer in hydroponics, ostensibly to keep her safe while she's working these machinations.
because she stole a hypo spray from the doctor, who, by the way, how stupid is this doctor that he didn't catch that?
Trying
Hello.
to throw names at her of names that you like to be like Pasteur.
Bianco.
That's a perfect name, Doctor.
Then again, I'm also considering Schweitzer, Jarvik, Pasteur.
I'm a
Yeah,
Pasteur.
Schweitzer.
Schweitzer.
Weird.
And
And she's like, what about this name? What about this name?
What about
And
Dr. Dre? What about Dr. Pyongyang?
Right. Yeah. What about Dr. Pepper? Oh yeah, Dr.
Right.
Pepper. That's the one.
So she steals the hypo spray, and then she
Yeah.
drugs season 1 Cass, the younger version of herself, sticks her in
Yeah.
a drawer, and then goes back to her quarters where Neelix has left her a creepy ass message.
And like
Yes.
dinner, and because they were supposed to have dinner that evening.
And
Right, but
he's like, "Hi, sweetie, do you want to do finger painting?" Ugh.
yeah, and it's like, honey, she doesn't want to spend the night with you, and he's probably not used to that because remember, at that point,
they were
Cass-
really in love.
they were so in love. So he's like, what the hell's going on with my girlfriend?
Right.
Meanwhile, Ensign Kim is like, oh, she's acting cold toward Neelix. Let me slip in, and he's sending her chocolates.
Right.
And he's like, hey, I heard
I'll show you a new way to finger paint.
Yeah. I heard you're only 2.
Ugh.
But
But Cass isn't having it, and she trashes her quarters,
she trashes her quarters.
which is the best scene in the whole damn episode.
Hello, sweetie. I took the liberty of preparing one of your favorite meals.
She's like, "I hate that squirrel."
wow, she's really bitter. She's truly angry. You got to remember that Kes was loved. They just adored her. They tried to keep her when she finally had to go. It was her that, like on this earlier episode, when she finally had to leave Voyager, she had to leave Voyager or she was going to destroy Voyager because her powers were out of control. So she made that choice to leave Voyager. So somehow it's all gotten mixed up and she's embittered and she's dark. And like she is willing to sacrifice, give them to the Vidians.
But before we
literally
even get to that, Tuvok enters the plot
correct.
because Cass comes onto the bridge, and Tuvok is like, "Yo, I sense something kind of stanky," because they're both telepathic.
Right.
That's
So
right.
he's like, he's sensing something. He's sensing
Mhm.
something is not right with the
Something's
situation.
askew.
Something's askew. So Cass is going about her business, like Matinga said, trying to negotiate with the Vidians to harvest Voyager so she can take the ship and get back to Ocampa or something or other.
Do you want this crew or not?
Why would you sentence your own crew to death?
They're not my crew.
With herself and her younger version of herself.
Yes.
And Tuvok is starting to trip balls all over the ship.
Yes. And what's happening is Vulcans, I guess, have similar telekinetic and psionic abilities to Ocampans, and he's just like catching her memories and catching the tachyon distortions in the time frame, and he's starting to see people that aren't there yet, like Naomi Wildman, like Icheb and the Borg babies, and Seven, and he's not afraid of them because he's kind of like, he has the feeling like, I'm anticipating something like this happening. So what he's seeing, he's seeing echoes in the time stream of what's going to happen in the future, and he kind of thinks it might be Kes.
We're also forgetting when they had the staff meeting and he says, we can send the Delta Flyer. And they're like, Delta Flyer? What the hell is a Delta Flyer?
The Delta Flyer. Its sensors are more advanced.
The Delta what?
I must have been thinking of another starship.
I must be tripping because I meant Delta Burke.
I'm trip on in the kitchen.
Exactly. But that's what he should have said. He said, oh, I'm sorry. I meant Delta Burke from Designing Women. He's like, Designing Women?
Women?
Y'all never seen Designing Women?
Yeah, but Tom is down with Designing Women because he's all about 20th century history.
That's right.
He's like, oh my God, I used to love Annie Potts.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So Tuvok gets on the elevator and Naomi Wildman comes out and he says, identify yourself. And she's like, Tuvok, don't you know me? I'm that girl from the Reba show.
Yes.
And he's like, oh, right.
Okay. Yes.
Right.
Don't you mean I married Van and he likes to take it in the butt? It's so weird.
He takes it in the butt all the time. Yeah. And he screams out, Reba. Arriba.
Arriba.
So Tuvok is gagging. I'm picturing the Delta Flyer. He's seeing Borg children. He's seeing Naomi Wildman. Oh, Ensign Wildman is in this for a hot minute. Miss Samantha.
Yeah.
She's designing a neural agent
to incapacitate the Vidians.
Right. Yes.
Which is something they did.
Yes. And did she design it?
I don't remember.
Oh, neither do I. At one point, Kes is in a shuttlecraft trying to plot a trajectory back to Oquampa. And Tom comes in and she's like, are you learning to fly? And she's like, yeah, you want to take me up for a ride, right? Someone described the scene. I just remembered it. Go ahead.
So she's actually, going to steal this shuttlecraft. And also, she shouldn't be able to drive a shuttlecraft. They send Tom down to a shuttlecraft because he is going to be taking point as they try and get through this field of distortion of subspace vacuoles, and he's going to be in a shuttle taking point so that they can move their way through this field as quickly as possible while also evading the Vidians. However, just by sheer chance, this happens to be the shuttle that Kes is going to attempt to steal to use to get back to Okampa. And they have a little conversation. Remember that they had an attraction as well. So I think that Tom notices that she's being very formal with him, and he thinks he finds it odd. And also that she is clearly plotting a course back to Okampa.
Right, because the B plot is this space vacuole thing.
Yes.
He's going to be in the shuttle and the computer's going to make all these adjustments, like rapid turn, left or right, no faster than light, no left or right. So they have to rely on the computer to make all these little hairpin turns.
By the way, which they do not do. They just let the computer do it, and they let the
right. Like Tom isn't even in the shuttle, right?
Yeah, they decide not to, but they never explain why.
Right. It was just to have them have a scene together.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then it comes out, of course, that Miss Kes is in contact with the Vidians, and she's like, you could harvest this crew. Here's their tactical information, their shields. They know what you're up to. Take them. I don't care. All I want is the ship or passage to Okampa.
And it's just so cold-blooded. It just doesn't seem in keeping with the character. I mean, what has happened to Kes?
Why did she get all blue?
Yeah, like
why is she blue?
She went dark, honey.
Yeah. She went real dark. But so what happens is because the Vidians have this information, when they do get in this area of space where they have to make all these crazy turns, the Vidians are onto them.
Yeah.
From the jump.
And it is a pitched space battle.
And is it at this point that they notice that Tuvok has been in the presence of time travel tachyon things?
No, so
No, they knew that a little earlier.
Correct. Because remember,
Janeway.
he talks to the captain and says, I saw that that Ensign Wildman had a child. And she's like, Samantha? Samantha's not, and the baby's half Katarian. Like, Samantha's not pregnant. But then later on a hunch, Catherine goes to the doctor and she's like, tell me, is Samantha Wildman pregnant? And the doctor's being like, I can't tell you that information, but eventually ups that, yeah, she is pregnant with a girl. And that gives the captain the feeling, okay, maybe something more is going on here. Because, the captain's a scientist and she's intuitive. So she intuits, wait a minute, we've got a time loop paradox. Something's going on here. And she's on it, trying to figure it out. And so when Tuvok ends up incapacitated somehow.
He's on the bridge and he's like, oncoming ship.
There's a ship coming.
Right.
And they're like, ain't no ship around. What you talking about?
You tripping, bitch.
And he ends up incapacitated. And that's when the captain goes to Kim and says, I want you scanning Tuvok 24/7 for disruptions in the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And so they figure it out that there's a disruption in the timeline, what kind of disruption it is. It has something to do with tachyons. And then they figure out that there are two Kesses in the hydroponics bay during this battle with the Vidians, and somehow the aeroponics bay has sealed off environmental controls as well, so they can't use their fix.
And there's a claw. There's a claw attached to the ship.
Right. So then, of course, the captain figures out right then and there, okay, this has something to do with Kes.
Right.
Kes is doing something here, and she goes to confront Kes in the hydroponics bay
with her bun.
With her bun looking dry and askew. Ratchet down.
She walks in and there's
ratchet down.
So there's old ass bedraggled Kes carrying younger version of Kes.
Aww.
Because they can't do a site-to-site transport. She's trying to get her off the ship, and Janeway's like, bitch, I will shoot you.
And Kes would never be a party to this. Like the younger Kes would not be a part. She's incapacitated. Right. She wouldn't be a party to any of this.
But also, the captain shoots her 3 times. Shoots shoots future Kes 3 times.
Yeah.
This is the bitch that tore the ship apart. But all she could do is fling Janeway across the room.
Yeah, she can go back in time. She can warp metal. She can break bullhead. But she just taps Janeway with her little psionic ability. Honey,
with her look.
Yeah, with a look, honey. Like, honey, where are all the powers now, Kes?
So this is the big climactic battle scene. As it's spaceship versus spaceship, it's Janeway versus future Kes in a battle of stun guns and weak telekinesis.
And weak ass telekinesis.
Janeway's like, Kes, it's set to kill. She's like, nah, bitch, it ain't. But it was.
Look at her makeup. It's terrible.
So Janeway kills her.
Yeah. And Janeway kills her. She does. But now remember, younger Kes is still alive. And so in that moment, as they are trying to figure out, okay, clearly an older version of you somehow used the warp core to come back in time to destroy us, to take you back to Ocampo. So we've got to figure out, and this happens in about 3 years when you leave the ship. So we have to figure out why, and we have to figure out, how to prevent this from happening again. Because remember, it's going to happen again.
Because
Future
Kes gave a very weak sauce explanation. She's like, I'm mad because you took me from my home.
Yeah.
You gave me bad ideas.
You gave me bad ideas and a bad wig and a bad squirrel boyfriend.
And I wasn't ready to evolve quite just yet, and blah, 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 blah.
I was like,
blame.
That's what you're mad about, girl.
So what happens is kind of the scene resets. And as we come back from, quote unquote, a commercial break, we open up on the scene in the captain's ready room where the captain is fooling Tuvok, but really just wants to give him his birthday cake yet again.
I was at your daughter's colonoscopy.
I was at your, for your daughter's colonar. And the scene plays out again. Kes is now returning to the ship. They run back to the to the
Main cabin.
to the main cabin, to where, what is that, the
Bridge.
bridge. They run back to the bridge.
The bridge.
And the scene is happening. Now, mind you, they have prepared this time. And they remember. The captain looks at Chakotay. Chakotay looks at Kim. They remember. And they're like, oh my God.
No. Chakotay and Kim have no idea what's happening.
Right. Only Tuvok and
Only
Captain
Tuvok.
Janeway.
Only Tuvok and
Because
Janeway?
Chakotay's
Yes.
like, what's up?
How did you know that?
Because remember, before this jump forward again in time, Janeway and Tuvok and Cass are in sickbay, and she turns the doctor off and says this information is to not leave this room.
But I think Chakotay knows too, because it's Chakotay that says there's two Kesses in the
Not at that point.
but before. So doesn't he remember that there was a moment when
But he didn't put two and two together.
Oh, but he didn't put two and two together.
He was too busy ripping a tear in the hull.
Miss Boo.
Yeah.
I don't know why that struck me as Miss Honey. That's true. He did it. So so only Janeway and Tuvok know, but they have put some things in place. So they clear out those bulkways, that particular hallway. They clear out engineering, and Kes is met by a video recording of the younger Kes trying to talk her down, saying, "Hey, you've done this before."
Like a hologram.
Try to remember who you were. Try to remember me.
I want you to remember that I love this crew. What is happening here? Blah, 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 blah. And kind of talks her down. And and then finishes her little conversation. And then the captain walks into the ready room. Engineering. And it's like, this has happened before. If we don't stop it now, this will probably happen again and again and again. We'll be in a time loop. So we have to figure out why you're so angry. And if you want to go back to Ocampa, let's get you back to Ocampa. Then go. Ain't nothing keeping you, bitch.
She's, and she remembers, suddenly she's like, I remember making that holo recording.
Yeah.
Also, when I dressed myself this morning, I was on my way to Night of 1,000 Stevies. And somehow I got lost.
Yeah. No wonder you're so pissed.
Yeah. And so the hologram and Janeway convince future ass old Cass 2.0.
Furiosa Cass.
And they get Neelix is suddenly in the transporter room with a bag of Leola root for her.
Right.
Yeah.
Because she still loves her Leola root.
Oh, that is so disgusting.
What are you looking at?
And it's such a weird acting choice. Like he sees this older version of Cass that maybe he thought he would never get to see or whatever. And like he's clearly like, this is the Cass that he loves. Yeah. And there's, and he gives her like this stuff, and she just kind of looks at him so cold. Like he was a pet hamster. Like there's just no feeling at all. She's just like, yeah, dude, bye.
Yeah. Thank you for the Leola root.
It's very cold. And I think it kind of in a way means that maybe Kes never really loved him. Maybe it's like, how you love your first boyfriend and you love them down.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you have real relationships later on in life, you realize like, oh, like that.
How could I have really loved him?
Yeah, that was just puppy dog.
Right.
Shit.
I mean, I don't think she has reason to be angry with the crew of Voyager, except Neelix. Because, even when he gives her the bag of Leola root, she's like, oh, yeah, now that I'm not a toddler, not so hot now, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. And you know what? It was really Neelix that took her from Ocampa.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that it really was Neelix.
So really, she should be angry with him.
Yeah. She just should have fried him up real quick. Like right before and first of all, I was also gasping because I'm like, okay, we're gonna send you on your trip, and she's in the energizer room, right? The transporter room. And I'm like, they can't transport her back to Ocampa. Like, are they just gonna transport her out to space?
Where are they sending her? Into the little ship.
To the ship.
That little shuttle that she was trying to steal in the beginning.
Then why did they just put her on the ship? Like, why do they have to transport her? The ship is on the ship.
Maybe they need to have that official Leola root goodbye.
Goodbye, yeah. I'm like, are they transporting her out into space?
Yeah.
It was so bizarre.
Yeah, okay. So let's get to final thoughts and ratings, and I'm going to go first. Okay. I'm going to give this 1.75 stale ass Leola roots because but for the scene where she destroys her quarters and her visceral hatred for Neelix, this episode fucking sucked.
Terrible!
This was a terrible, illogical, confusing time travel mishmash and also character assassination.
Yes.
How could they do this to Cass?
Better episode than the one with the fake Janeway and the fake
Lies.
Chakotay. Better episode than that.
Lies.
Sure, honey.
No, bitch.
Yes.
No, bitch. They destroyed Cass. They bring her back for this?
To destroy her.
To destroy her. Seize her and fuck her.
Seize her and fuck her.
You know what? Just for that, I'm going to downgrade this to one. One busted ass, dry old Cass wig. That's my final tally.
Wow.
Wow. Is that your
final answer?
My final answer.
Your final answer? Your Andre Leon tally?
You know it. One.
It was nice to see Jennifer Lien. I think she does a nice job. But yeah, I don't like how they end up treating that character. So I'm gonna say, just for Jennifer Lien, I'm gonna give it 2 Leola root. 2. I'm gonna give it a 2.
You know what? I'm gonna amend mine and give it an additional 1/10 of a dried ass Jennifer Lien wig, because we did get an appearance from Lieutenant Carey.
Yes.
In the season 1 flashbacks, we did suddenly see Lieutenant Carey again, and he was still looking kind of cute.
Cash and Carey,
bitch. So we did get,
honey.
We did get Carey and Ayala. So
I
will give it,
and Samantha.
Oh, and Samantha. And I'll take half of a sliver away because we had to see that fucking kid again, Naomi. So make the math do what it does. Booby, what is your score?
I'm gonna give it a half a point.
Wow.
I thought this sucked. I thought it made absolutely no sense. No sense whatsoever.
Wow.
It was a mess. That's all I got to say.
I am so shocked.
Ow. Wow.
This
You
is
know
the
what?
lowest I think we've ever given.
I feel you, honey. The return of Cass was a big hot mess.
Yeah, and I love my Cass.
She deserved better. She really did.
Wow. So I guess all in all, this episode averages out to like a 1.9 or something.
Yeah. Under a 2.
Under a 2. Under a 2. And you know what? It had so much potential. Like bringing Cass back had potential. She has all these powers, but only used selectively. There could have been a face-off with her and Seven. There could have been a face-off with her and Neelix. There could have been so many things. Or Q, because she's so powerful. But no, she just had a grudge and was looking like she needed moisturizer and wanted to go home. I did kiki a little just because it was so dumb. But yeah, nah, girl, it wasn't cute.
Yeah, it could have been so much more.
Yes.
It could have been so much more.
That is our analysis of Star Trek Voyager Season 6 episode entitled Fury. You have been listening to Fire Chakotay, the most problematic... Matinga, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at myself.
Oh, obviously, darling. I caught that. Lovely. And what is your analysis of that little glance?
You know what? Looking kind of, I do it. I would totally do it.
Then you go on and you do it, girl.
Yeah.
All right. Do it to the music. Thank you for listening to this episode of Fire Chakotay. I am Mike Diamond.
This is Miss Matinga.
And this is Booby.